What is going on, Zinger Nation? How are we doing today? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the After Hours show here on the Benzinga Network. My name is Ryan Rozbiani. I am your host for today. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things going on within the market. First off, I wanted to start off by saying hello to you all. Thanking you all for coming back and watching with us. We've got a lot to talk about. As always, the format of this show is pretty simple. First, third, we talk about the major indices, how they were performing today. Second, third, I cover some of the stocks that I've been watching today and how they've been performing. And the third part of the show, which is essentially really it's the two-thirds of the show, is when you folks can throw tickers into the chat and we will go over their charts and discuss them together as a team and see how we're going. So without further ado, we will start off with the usual one. We've got SPY, SPY, that we like to always talk about here. Just give me 1 second. I just need to give this a refresh and send this out, send this tweet out live on Benzinga. I start off the show just like it seems like all of our good shows always start off with a little bit of technical difficulties. So I just I had a bit of trouble coming on with the computer this morning. What's up, Quebec? If I'm pronouncing your name right, hello, hello. We will definitely talk about Roblox. Roblox is definitely one of the ones that I was going to even bring into the second half of the show because it's one that I've been talking about and watching personally very closely. So let's go into it. Let's throw up this stickeroonie over here. SPY. So SPY, if you've been with us, if you've been watching this show, we are live every Tuesday and Thursday. We've been discussing a SPY pullback for a bit, and here it is. Look at this. We've got a little bit of red finally coming into the SPY land. We got, again, flat, not too much red, but flat red. Red is still red. And it's been kind of going up. We hit, I believe today or yesterday, we hit a 52-week high on SPY. Just let me see. Yeah, today we had a 52-week high again on SPY, breaking a record, but then it's still close, sort of flat red, and after hours is essentially flat as well. This is all in anticipation and quote-unquote fear of this big Fed meeting that is happening later tomorrow, actually around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Their statement comes out at 2:30. We get the Jerome Powell coming on board to talk about the Fed, talk about tapering, talk about interest rates. Personally, I believe nothing is going to happen. Nothing bad is going to come out of this. We don't have enough data for them to start tapering, and we don't have enough information for them to start increasing rates. Inflation is real. I do believe it's a real thing. But I think that starting next month, if the inflation data and the CPI data comes out bad, then we'll have to start tapering and then increasing rates to be able to kind of make sure we don't get into a wild frenzy. So keep that in mind in the back of your head. Personally, there's a few stocks that I'm watching to look out and buy tomorrow with the red, so we'll be definitely talking about those in the second half of the show. So this is SPY in a nutshell. Flat day, nothing too crazy. Next up, we got QQQ, Triple Q, the NASDAQ index that we'd like to kind of watch. These are our favorite tech stocks are built into this one. So if you've been with us, you see the support line we've drawn. We're still respecting it. The 50 MA and the 21 MA are acting as support. 50 MA first and 21 MA looks like they're getting very close to each other. Very close to each other. But again, another down half a point, nothing too crazy. After hours up 3 basis points, nothing too wild. Essentially simple, calm, relevantly calm day. Nothing that I'm imagining will be affected. Again, parallel to SPY in the RSI. MACD still upward and strong in my opinion, still good, still rocking and rolling. I think we're going to be just fine into the next coming weeks. Tomorrow we should get some red that we will probably be able to use to our advantage. Next off, we got to talk about IWN, our good old Russell 2000. IWN, where are you? There we go, Russell 2000. If you're a fan of the show and you've been watching for a while, you know that I like the stock Mara. Mara was finally confirmed to be added to the Russell 2000 very, very soon. We got a press release from them, so it's huge news. Money in the trade. We will definitely talk about Roku. We'll be definitely talking about Roblox, so smash the like button if you're here with us, and we will definitely jump in and talk about those, but I promise you we will discuss them. So the Russell 2000 essentially covers our small cap and penny stock world, and so it's doing good. Look, it had a big rally last week, and then this week it's slowly calming down a little bit. We got a little bit of red in late last week as well. But look, that's how it happens. Look, we had a big rally. We had a 52-week high. It's got to calm down. I think we'll come in. We essentially sort of, quote unquote, we barely touched the 21 MA today, but it essentially is using that as our support levels as 21 moving average. We'll take that and we will play with that moving forward. And I think that's a good place to watch. I still think it's going to be a small cap summer. I still think penny stocks are going to be doing very well. I've been working with a lot of my Patreon members. We got the link to the Patreon in the description if you want to sign up, putting out weekly watch lists, making a lot of money with them and having fun. And more importantly than making money, they're learning how to trade, which is really, really important. I've put together a course for them that I'm giving to them for 100% free, depending on the tier they're in. If you go to the link, you'll see all the information there and you can play it by ear there. But Small caps are going to be doing very, very well. Just be very weary of pump and dumps on on Twitter and that. So just be very careful as to stocks that you're adding and do some DD on them. Make sure you know how to read charts and stuff like that, so you can kind of analyze it, quote unquote, and be able to take your knowledge and understanding to the quote unquote next level without being too worried about what's going on within the next step. So definitely keep in mind there. So those are our indices essentially. Next, I want to go to Bitcoin. I'll just pull up the Bitcoin price here. We can't see the chart, but I'll pull up the Bitcoin price. Oh, look at this. We got the Bitcoin charts finally in the Benzinga Pro Tool. This is awesome. So this is very good. We don't have to go to TradeView anymore. Bitcoin, let's give me the daily charts. As we've seen here, it's now sort of consolidated around here. The 200 moving average was essentially our support. It broke it a little bit, and we had a big bump in the past 2 days. I'm going to convert to something a little bit more easier to see, the 2-hour chart, to be able to see this bump here within the stock. It should load. As you can see here, we had a big gap up, and this is thanks to Papa Elon putting out a tweet in kind of in positive correlation saying, hey, if Bitcoin miners go to green, we'll jump on board and we will we'll provide you, we'll facilitate the Bitcoin transactions again for our cars, even though I don't think too many people even bought cars with Bitcoin. So just keep that in the back of your head. So nice big jump here that has helped out some of the stocks, some of the Bitcoin mining stocks that we like a lot. So I'll start off with one that I got a DM about from someone asking me to review, and it's a stock that I personally like a lot and have a position in Mara. So if we take a look at Mara's daily chart, it moves very parallel to Bitcoin. So it had a very good day yesterday. It had a nice little big bump of 12.77% with Bitcoin finally coming back into the rally position. And today essentially had a flat day. Oh, no, it had a 2.44% jump today too. So that's great. So 2 very good days for Mara. Trajectory of the RSI is finally it's flat, but sort of flat, getting strong. I think once that Russell 2000 edition kicks in, once the indices start adding it, we will see a bigger bump and get closer to a $32 to $34 area. So that'll be good to see. And the MACD is strong as well. So this is good for Mara. Next, we'll take a look at Riot. Riot blockchain parallel to Marathon. Riot had a red day today, down 1 point. I think this is probably surrounding to the point where their CEO sold about 50,000 shares of his common stock that he owned. Again, not a big deal. He owns about 300,000 more shares. I believe 277,000 more shares, something in that ballpark. So not too bad, but again, they had a red day. After hours green. Then SOS is another Bitcoin mining stock a lot of people talk about, and this one had a red day today too. 1.73%. The loser of the three here had a 5% day yesterday. I was able to, if you follow me on Twitter at Ryan Rozbiani, the link is also in the description. I use this opportunity to teach people how to play both sides of the trade, right? You can make money of the stock going up, and you can make money when it comes back down. So I played SOS puts. I bought SOS puts to kind of balance out my commons, because Mara was going up. I have a swing position in Mara, and I also have a long-term position in Mara. So I used that and made money off of the swing position, right? And then I bought puts on SOS when I saw Bitcoin calming down a bit. And today I was able to cash in 10% easy overnight put swing for SOS. So nothing too wild, right? Simple, straightforward. You play both sides of the trade. Play it going up, play it coming down, and you can make money on both ends. This is one thing that folks don't really, really grasp and don't really kind of come to terms with, is you can play both sides of any trade and make really good money off of it. Another stock that I want to talk about is I'll go to Roblox first and then Roku. So if you have tickers, we can literally just jump into them. If you want to just start machine gunning tickers into the comment section, I'm more than happy to definitely cover whatever you'd like to cover, and we can definitely do that. So let's get that started with my good old let's start off with the Roblox. I want to see what happened in the after hours. What's causing such a big dip? We got a 6.29%, 6.3% dip in the after hours. In order to see that, we got to go to I'll go to the 5-minute chart, so we're not too driven wildly crazy by the 1-minute ticks. So here we are. We were at the $89, $88 area, and then we came all the way down to a low of 82. So again, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big drop, but let's see what happened. As metrics may show, daily user declined from April. Okay, so this is one of the reasons I've discussed this on the show when Roblox was doing an IPO. I said Roblox has to spend a lot of money to keep new customers coming and keep customers onto their platform. Again, their active users are up 28% year over year, down 1% month over month. That's cool. Of course, year over year numbers are going to be up no matter what, because during the whole COVID situation, more and more kids jumped on. But this is the thing: is how are you going to sustain them to stay on the platform? They're already spending tons of money to sustain users on the platform. That's why personally I didn't get into the IPO, and I was expecting dips like this to happen. So if we go to the daily chart, I think we're probably back down around IPO. Not yet. Okay, so we still have a decent way to IPO levels. What is IPO open at? It opened at 65. All right. Okay, I see. All right. So your 50 MA is essentially your lifeline here, around $80. I'd watch that very closely. Tomorrow will probably be more red. Tomorrow we were going to see red either way across the markets due to fear of the Fed. What's the Fed going to say at 2 p.m.? So a lot of big money sells out of their positions in fear of essentially something happening, right? So we would see red, and I imagine a catalyst like this doesn't really help either month over month data. Again, they could come out and again up about this and be like, hey, this is why the numbers were down, but next month we're expecting this many numbers and this much and this much and this much. So keep that in mind if you're in Roblox, especially if you bought like during the IPO around down here. I wouldn't be too worried, but if you bought up around here, I think your stop loss should have triggered sometime around here either way. So play it by ear, let your conviction play out for you, and play it that way. Let's go next to Roku. Roku is the next stock. If you're watching, if you want me to go over a ticker, put it in the chat. You know what? Let me just put out a quick tweet. I want to get some more people in here, so that we can see what's going on. Here we go. Have a ticker you would like me to review. Hop on and put it in the chat. All right, I hope I spelled everything right there, but either way, let's go into Roku. Roku is a very, very interesting one. This is one that, again, look at this red line. This is the support line that I put in a long time ago, around 290. When we reviewed it the first time, it broke this support line once, but that's okay. It bounced up. 200 moving average has been built as support here. It's been fighting to make the 200, the 50, and the 21 moving as its support, but it's been having a bit of trouble there. I want to go. RSI is going down. We're going into kind of a consolidation phase, I imagine, with this stock. So one thing that they did that I didn't really like was with the YouTube Premium and YouTube stuff that they started cutting out. I wasn't a huge fan of that. That kind of turned me off a bit, to be honest with you. So that worried me about Roku personally. It said, here we go, it meant profit taking following yesterday's rally. So they had a big rally yesterday. It looks like it. Yeah, 5 points. 5 points is big for these bigger stocks, by the way. That 5 points equates to 17, $18. So that's a big, big rally. So again, it surrendered almost, surrendered more. It surrendered everything. Surrendered all of the gains that it kind of built up. So that's not, I don't like the stock. I'll just put it that way. But again, if I was objectively looking at it, I would want it to hold this 21 moving average and then fight back the 50 moving average and kind of make its way back up slowly. Getting back up here to these highs of 400 is going to be quite difficult for Roku. There's a lot of competition out there. Like Vizio is out there now. You've got YouTube is a competitor. Netflix. I hate Netflix, but I like watching Netflix, but I don't like their stock in their company. I think it's highly overvalued. That's just my personal opinion. And we can go to Netflix next. NFLX. Again, I don't have a short position or anything or puts or anything in Netflix. Just personally, I think it's highly overvalued. And the stock will show you that too. Like you've got gap downs that happen, then you have gap ups and excitement, then gap downs, and then gap ups, and then gap downs. So it's something that's even the market doesn't really know what to do with. And now they have like this whole thing of, hey, we're going to sell merchandise on our show, on our streaming platform, which I'm like, all right, what are you, Teespring now? Like, I don't understand it. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Next up, we have Abraham coming in with Pins. Let's go into Pins, which is Pinterest. This is a very interesting company that I truly have never understood what they exactly do. So that always confused me. I have no idea what this box is that I put in here for Pins. I guess I was trying to measure at the gap here, and I might have screwed it up, but there we go. You can see that there's a gap here in the chart, and look at this. It's fighting to fill this gap. Look, you got the. This is. I could do it. Let me see everything else. Oh yeah, I think you're gonna get there. I think you're gonna fill this gap. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be a clean gap up. You're not going to be like, all right, boom, 12%. You could. I need to measure this gap. How big is it? Hmm. 8% gap. That's not bad at all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me try. Let me delete this box. You guys see the gap clearly. It's not like a hidden gap or anything like that. It's not like a tiny, like on QQQ, we had two small gaps that filled in fairly, as expected, fairly quickly. But yeah, it's about like an 7 to 8% gap. Nothing too wild. I could see this being filled quite easily. I'm not sure why it gapped down. I'd imagine earnings or something happened. Let me see when the gap down happened. It was on the 27th, April 27th, so April 28th. I have to look at it if that's not a Saturday. I'm assuming earnings or something happened. Boom, boom, boom. April 27th. Here we go. There it is. Told you guys earnings. So they beat estimates for EPS. Sales beat as well. All right, that's good. What's the bad news? Surprising guidance, more surprising reactions. They had a lowered price target. They had lowered price targets. Okay, so I see what happened here. Price targets were lowered. It's telling me surprising guidance, but it's not telling me what the guidance was, unless I missed it. General corporate statement. That's his first quarterly results. Let's see, it should be in here, right? Grew 70%, so they had good earnings. Net loss of 21 million adjusted, 81 million for the first quarter. Okay, so I see that probably caused a drop as well. I need their guidance, because if you come in at lower guidance, that causes gap downs a lot. Even if like you come in with massive earnings, if you lower guidance, it'll drop down. We continue to navigate uncertainty with the COVID-19 pandemic. Q2 we grew. We intend to provide further outlook. Okay, so it looks like they didn't provide guidance in this one. Shares lower, Q1 earnings. All right. So I'm assuming guidance was lower. So here, surprising guidance, more surprise reactions. The guidance came in lower. People said, "All right, we're good, bro. We're gonna sell and we'll be back." And if they did, if people sold, even if they sold on the gap down and rebought towards the bottom of the gap, which honestly it's very hard to time the bottom of the gap, but you should have done fairly well. Like even if you bought down here and sold up here, you should have done fairly well. Just putting that out there. All right, let's go to another one. Pins was fun. Thank you, Abraham. Appreciate you. Again, do me a favor, if you're going to put a ticker in the chat, just hit the like button, just as what's going on. What you think about Wish and Orphamazine, the big two pumps happening right now. So let's go to Wish. I was just talking to someone about Wish, and I was telling them how I feel about Wish. I don't like Wish. Wish to me, Wish has to do a lot. Wish reminds me of eBay back in the early days of eBay, right? A lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of stigma around counterfeit items, a lot of items not even showing up. Then Wish has to cover those costs, whatever their kind of their bylines are, or whatever their standards are, how they operate. So I'm not too crazy. I will cover Eton. Just give me 2 seconds, man. Let me get through these other tickers first. Wish, I'm seeing price targets of like 30, 40. So the highest the stock was 30 here. I'm not sure what happened, if they had offerings, if there was dilution. Because if offerings and dilution happens, you have to adjust this price for what the dilution would occur. So take market cap into account when you're doing these kind of calculations for price targets. That's what a lot of people unfortunately do not do. So look, the market cap is 8.585 billion, right? Let's just assume. All right, let's go. So if we want to do 30 divided by 11.43, that's a 2.6x, 2.62 x growth, right? So that would mean we take our $8.585 billion company and it becomes about a $22.5 billion company. That's a massive jump. I don't know how cleanly a jump like that could happen, if it should even happen. So personally, I don't see it going to 30. I would play this as a trade in and out quickly, or maybe options in and out quickly on pumps, so that when these big candles happen, you can sell your options fairly quickly, or you can play your commons fairly quickly in and out. But I don't see this going to 30 or even 20 anytime soon. You saw your high resistance points here at 15. See 1545 has been previous resistance. Again, $20 here. But again, I have no idea when their dilution happened or anything wild has happened for them. We can take a look if they've done any offerings. So let me go to SEC Wish. And you can go to SEC.report and you can see it. Okay, so Form 4s are buy and sells. So we want to look for something like an S1. It looks like they haven't done anything. They haven't done any dilution as far as I can tell here. Let me see their newest 8K report, which was just a few days ago. Okay, hold on. Let me see if these Form 4s are sells. If these are sells, the drops make sense because you're essentially wiping out support levels. Yeah, see, these are disposals, so they were selling shares. These are restricted shares, though. No, I'm sorry, these aren't. Okay, so they disposed of, and then they acquired. They sold restricted shares, bought Class B common shares. That's not bad at all. I take that back. This isn't bad. It's kind of like swapping. They're essentially swapping, but I don't know. I'd keep a close eye on this one. This is going to require a decent amount of volume to even get there. It's floated 150 million, so definitely keep an eye on there. Orpha, I'll come back to Orpha if I have time. I'm going to hit a few other tickers, but if we have time, I'll definitely come back to Orpha. Let's go to Eton next. Eton Pharmaceuticals, bio company. I don't know much about them, but let's just go into the chart. It's doing good after hours. Oh, look at this. It had a nice day today, but it could not hold that. Let me see if there's news. Eton acquires U.S. and Canadian rights to Zeno whatever auto injector. Okay, cool. So they got some good news. Look at this micro float. Look, 20 million float. That means the stock will jump up and also jump back down. It's going to move fairly quickly. So that's why with these kind of stocks, look at this. It came down, came right back up, and came right back down. RSI is good. I mean, it could stagnantly grow over time. This will probably be a good target for bump and dumpers because of how low the float is. But the good news came already and went. So I don't know if you bought up here, you're gonna have to wait a long time for this to get back up there. Because look, you have 3 resistance levels here that happened, or just built in naturally: the 2150 and the 200 moving MA. So UV Play says FDA approval. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I can see that the jump in the chart. You had essentially a big jump, and you had a big jump here. Look at this. It's a 20% move, but then it was surrendered. So essentially came back to a regular 4% day that it's normally getting, right? If it can keep going, that'll be awesome. Like if you can have natural volume coming in, if you see it over time, but getting that kind of approval helps it longer term. Right, if you get the rights to something, the auto injector, I don't know what it is, right? That's why I stay away from bios. I don't know much about them. FDA approval okay, so this is good. This is very good. That means over time it'll help them with their books selling this drug. But one thing that comes with an FDA approval is FDA approvals are usually followed by what we call offerings, so that they can raise money to produce said drug or pay someone to produce said drug. So keep that in the back of your head if they're not cash heavy. All right. If you can see a gap play check for Blue, I'm assuming Blue is a ticker. Bluebird Bio, another bio stock. Come on, I hate bio stocks. That's okay. This is a big gap. Let me check the float. 50 mil float. Okay, not too bad. Market cap of $2 billion. I don't see this gap being filled up anytime soon. This looks like a bad news gap down on a bio play, and you need very good news to fill that gap back up. Personally, I don't think this gap gets filled for a while. Look at this. It can't sustain. You've got a rounding top forming here, so it's going to come back down to essentially around these levels, around 26, 27. If this rounding top actually plays out and it comes all the way back down, you're going to probably break the 21 moving average. So the next level would be 50 moving average that I would watch is around $30. But again, I could be totally wrong. These are bio plays. I have no idea what their catalysts are. I don't know what's coming up next. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, so Gamer is asking for you. What is that? UXIN. UXIN. Okay, what is this? Shares are trading lower. The stock initially gained after it announced it secured a $350 million in financing, but then sold off. Okay, so it looks like it had a similar situation to Eton. No float data, unfortunately. What do they do? They're an investment holding company, although its subsidiary is a firm that operates in e-commerce platforms. Okay. Okay, so they raised $315 million, which is good. They got earnings coming up fairly soon. Let's see. It's probably going to have a huge candle. I don't know. It looks like it's just sold off heavy. Let me see. Yeah, I see what happened here. You had the good news. Is this trading around the $5 area? You had good news, ran to 660, then surrendered plus some, and then kind of came down. I don't know. It could work its way back up. Again, once they raise this money, they have to tell you what they're raising the money for eventually. Like, hey, we're going to use this $350 million to do X, Y, and Z. If you do that, then sure. U.S. Chinese used car dealer UXIN raises $350 million in financing. With Neo Capital and Joy Capital to invest a total of $350 million in the company. Simultaneously, Unix agreed with the holders that its convertible notes, including the 58.com, TBG, and Warburg, to convert notes into 69 million Unix shares. Okay. Neo Inc. Good. So Neo, we know Neo already. You guys know Neo, the EV company in China. Acknowledge the used car markets and their exponential growth. So this could have good growth. It depends on what the used car market is in China. If the used car market in China is hot and it's good, and especially with companies like Neo offering to work with UXIN, it could be good for them long term, right? It's like, hey, we're going to go out and use this money to buy said used cars and then resell them to you and then make a profit on these used cars, depending on what the profit margins are for the cars. They could do very, very, very well. Yeah, Richard's right. There's a big drop. Yeah, so they raised the money and then it came back down. So that's what happened there. But Gamer, good luck. Keep an eye on it. Let me know via Twitter. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, by the way. I do a lot of Q&A. If there's a question that I don't hit in this chat, or if I miss your ticker, you can hit me up on Twitter. I do this all the time with people after chats. Let's go. Great question, Lovic, about TRCH. Torchlight, the hot stock on the market today. Had a massive move. Let's go to the one-day chart. I alerted this to my patrons all the way back here. So the massive run-up happened, the quote-unquote pump and dump. I said, hey, folks, let's get into this around here. So we started accumulating shares, and boom, a lot of them sold off today because we know that this run-up makes no sense. Like, I know that the people are talking about a special dividend. The special dividend is this quote-unquote reverse merger that happens to make Meta, and then Meta, it gives you preferred shares, which means when they start issuing a dividend, then at that point you get a bigger dividend versus common shares. But in order to issue a dividend, you need to be making money. And right now they're not making money yet. So it could be a while. So to me, it's a weird advantageous use of said retail investors to be able to hook, line, and sinker them with the buzzword of a dividend. I don't know. That's why I talked to a lot of patrons and said, hey, it might be a good idea to take profits, and a lot of them did. So that's just my 2 cents on Torchlight. There's a lot of rumors about it. There's a lot of good stuff about it. The company is very, very interesting, but I do believe it begins to cool off soon, and then it takes its next steps. This is set to join the Russell 3000 when it becomes Meta, or before it becomes Meta. TRCH was on the list to join the Russell 3000, so just keep that in mind. And by the way, if you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is in the description. We've got a lot of very, very, very smart traders in there working and providing help and kind of helping you grow as a trader and learning how to trade. There's a lot of stuff on Twitter that'll help you trade, but you really need to learn to trade from soup to nuts, and that's what I'm doing there. I'm teaching traders how to trade. I'm building a course that I'm providing to them for free. So if you want to sign up, the link should be in the description. Last I checked, patreon.com/trading together. And if it's not there, you can just go to ryanstocks.com. I'll flash that banner on the screen. Just go there, and it's one of the stuff. No, the Patreon's in the description. So if you want to join, you can definitely do that. Most of the people make their money back in the first week or so off of basic swings. Very, very easy. All right, let's go to Upstart next. Hold on. I'm sorry. Vuzi says they have 4 more approvals on the way. So I hope so. I hope he's talking about he or she or they're talking about Eton. So I hope Eton plays out very well. So keep me updated. Come back on Thursday and let me know how it goes and keep me updated, or follow me on Twitter and just keep me updated. I'd love to hear more about it. And I don't know, maybe we'll play it. I don't know. I'm totally game for anything. Again, bio stocks are not my forte. I'm a technical trader and a fundamental trader, and bio stocks, they're catalyst or coin flips. So I really honestly stay away from them, to be 100% frank, but that's just me personally, and everyone's different. All right, let's take a look at this. Look at this rounding top. Not good. But all right, let's take a look. Upstart has been having some trouble, man. Upstart runs and Upstart gaps up, and then he surrenders gains, but it's been holding. Look at this. This support line here has been holding fairly well. Let me put this in. Boom, right there. So we got that support line. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner so you can see the gap a little bit clearer. So essentially our support is sitting around the $80 area is your support area, around 80 bucks. Again, it is difficult to get these things exact. Oh, look at that. I just accidentally dropped the second one. Let me get rid of this. Make this bigger so you can see it. Let me get rid of this second line. Oh man, I'm just drawing lines everywhere now. Hold on, let me just wipe the whole. Let me just wipe it. Go back here, click it. I do all this stuff on Webull personally. That's just how I operate. I like Webull a little bit better than TradeView, but TradeView is good because it's got more tools and it's got a lot of like more preset built-ins. But I don't go too indicator heavy. That's just how I operate. I like to keep it simple. But you got sort of a rounding top forming here, but I'm going to completely ignore the rounding top. I'm going to just keep an eye on this one. It ripped through the 50 and the 21 moving average. This is interesting. Looks like it wants to form a head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, and then maybe a shoulder. It looks like it's really weird because I don't know. This is a weird chart. Just going based on RSI and MACD, it's going to cool off a little bit more. I see this coming down to this line down here. Or honestly, realistically, let's say we don't go down that low. We go to the $100 area point, and then it bounces again. That would make perfect sense too. I need fib levels for this one. This is the thing with these charts. Sometimes you could just look at a raw chart with just moving averages, support, resistance lines, and you can play it out easily in your head. And sometimes there's stocks and charts that you need a little bit more juice to be able to figure out what's going on. What's next? Like, what's the deal? So let me get this as close as I can. I don't know who designs TradeView. Like, come on, bro. Oh, good. Now we got a million of them popping up. Right, so these are fib levels. So yeah, 100 exactly, 105 area would be where I imagine we come down to. The 100 to $103 area is where I'm going to extend this a little bit. The line is still touching the top, so we're still within it. It broke this support of the 122. If it could bounce back up. It goes above it, so technically it could bounce off of this and go back up and cycle and then go back up again. So keep an eye on that one there. I'm not too crazy about their business model personally, so I stay away from Upstart. That's just me personally. Again, we all have our personal opinions about stocks and companies, and it's 100% on you and me to decide what we like and what we don't like, right? All right, let's go to another stock. What are your favorite pick for stocks? I'll be honest with you, MP. I don't put those out publicly here on stream just because I don't want to be considered a pump and dumper. That's why if you go to my Twitter, I answer questions more than I put out unique plays on Twitter because I don't want to be considered a pump and dumper. A lot of people will label you automatically if you talk about one or two stocks a lot. They'll call you a pump and dumper. And that's just how I don't want to be labeled. I do talk about a lot of stocks that I do like on there. I'm big into tech. So right now, a big stock that I've been watching a lot and accumulating is Etsy. Another one is Twitter. So those are two that I really like. But for stock picks, if you like, you could join the Patreon, and I give out all of my stock picks there for free, plus the educational and learning stuff there for sure. But right now, off the top of my head, Twitter is one that I'm watching very closely. I'll show you the chart. Again, this is not a pump and dump, and I wouldn't buy it up here. I think it needs to cool off a little bit back to the 58, 57 area before adding more. But I added my first Twitter shares back in 2017 when it was like an $18 stock. I think it was my very, very first long-term position, around 18, 17 bucks in 2017. So somewhere around here was where I added it. And I just never sold it, and I just held it. And I just held that long position. That's one of the few positions that I've always held, and it's panned out for me. And now when I saw this gap down, I was like, all right, maybe it's time for me to add to my position there again because I've never rebalanced it to be able to make it an equivocally balanced position in my portfolio. It's just been there kind of like as a memory. It's a good, decent sized position, but it's just been there as kind of a memory, and I wanted to add more to it. So I did. So I added down here on 58, 59. I added more. I missed the 55s down here and 57s. I missed these. That was my personal stupidity. I was just not paying attention. I should have added heavily down here, but I didn't. But I do believe we come back down because if we look here very closely, resistance is being met at the 50 moving average. So I imagine we come back down and retest the 21 moving MA, which is now sitting around 57, 45. So 58, 57, I'm completely fine with it doing that. We've got a gap here on the chart, which initiates and starts closing around the $64 area. Twitter is a very, very interesting company to me. It's the voice of the people. So I like it a lot with what they're doing with Twitter Spaces. So I enjoy it personally, and I like it a lot. Doka, how are you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing well, Doka. Let's see what's next. Sure, let's take a look at ASX, and then I will go to THYR next. ASX. ASE Technology Holdings. Okay. Looks like you have had quite a bit of a rally here. If you add it down here or anywhere around these parts. Is this a low volume stock? Where's your average volume? No, it's not a bad low vol. It's not that there's anything bad about it. It's not a low vol stock. It looks like it's cooling off though, so be very careful. It looks like it's cooling off, so I would have probably taken profits. I don't know if there's any catalyst for this coming up or if anything interesting is happening, but let's see. Trading lower mid supply. Yeah, a lot of these companies are gonna. Semiconductor play, fantastic, but these semis are going to have a bit of a trouble right now. So what they have is a high demand and low supply, which means that people that are buying are forced to go elsewhere. So that's what hurts them. But realistically, in the long term, the semiconductor space is fantastic. Every single thing in the world now is a semiconductor in it. Essentially, you got cars with semiconductors. Who would have thought that? The combustion engine is out, semiconductor chips are in. Long-term plays here. This could be a good stock long-term. Again, I know nothing about their financials and their company. We can take a look here together. All right, 51,000. All right, cash is up. Short-term investments are up. Good. Let me see. Their total assets are up. Okay. How are their liabilities doing? Liabilities are essentially flat, which is good. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Long-term debt is up a little bit. Okay. I don't mind the debt. Again, I don't know what their debt is. I'm just operating on the fly. Revenue is down, not good. But revenue is down, I imagine, because of the short supply of semiconductors. So I'll give them a pass there. But it looks like usually it's just it goes up, comes down, goes up, goes up, goes up again, then it came down. So it looks like this quarter was bad. But if you take a look at their gross profits across the board, even with lowered revenue, lower total revenue, their total gross profit is essentially the same. So their margins got better. Operating expenses went down, which is fantastic. But I don't know if operating expenses went down due to production going down, due to revenue coming down, due to the lack of semis. So that's something to keep in mind with these kind of companies is kind of play out these things in your head and be like, all right, what's the scenario here? Is it down because something bad happens? Something else going on? Money, Mitch in the house. What's going on, Mitch? Okay, I promised someone and I just scrolled. Okay, there it is. THYR. By the way, if you're watching this, do me a solid. Hit the subscribe button hit the like button. It's completely free. If you're gonna ask a question, just do me that solid. And if I miss your ticker, do me a favor, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question there. THYR isn't coming up, Kevin. Kevin, I don't know if you're still with us, but THYR isn't coming up. So do me a solid. Put it again if you made a typo. Is it THRY? I'm gonna pretend you said THRY. Let me see, THRY. Oh, there it is, THRY. Perfect. All right, here we go. Strong RSI. It's coming back up to the resistance point at it's 52-week high, I imagine, right? Yeah, 52-week high. I think this could even looks like it's an all-time high. Cool. Let me see what they do first. Holdings, so probably a holdings company. Software as a it's a software as a service company for management tools and digital and print marketing tools to small and mid-sized businesses. Operates in 2 reportable segments, SaaS. Okay, 2 hot sectors. Here are their earnings, which came out a month ago. Sales beat, EPS beat, and they raised guidance. 3 home runs. That's fantastic. That explains why the chart in stock is doing so well. Now the question becomes is how well do we do from here, right? Today was a pivotal point in the test. You came to the resistance point of a high of 33.40. You broke that 33.40, went to 33.73, but it couldn't hold it. That's okay. Your RSI is strong. Your MACD is strong. You're building good support. Essentially, you want to watch this line here, and you want to make sure that holds. Because even if this is the thing, even if it comes down, that's okay. Just let it bounce off the line. Allow it to build up some steam, because I don't know. This is very good. This is a strong and healthy chart, in my opinion. From what I'm seeing here, it's a strong, healthy chart. It's doing its thing. Why am I drawing more lines? Strong and healthy chart, but again, you want to make sure that your past earnings, you have 3 home runs on earnings. You have the raised guidance. You have the beating EPS, beating revenue. So it's good. I like it. I like what it's doing. I think in the next few days, you'll break this 33 point. But again, I wouldn't buy up here, because what's going to happen is once you break it, it will have a cool off period again. Look, once you hit this high, it does cool off. So if it breaks it again, it could cool off again. So this is what we're going to do here. Let's do a little bit of a Fibonacci extension together. Let's do a Fibonacci extension. Bam. 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 But I'm going to extend it. Escape. And extend this here so we can take a better look at it. Okay. So I think if we clear this 33 area, right, we can go to 35. What's the float? Oh, baby float, 7 million micro float. This thing would fly. What is the volume on this? Oh, it's a low vol. I see what's going on. But no, it could still do magic. It could still do its thing. I'd keep an eye on this. This is a good pick. I think you did well with this one. I like it. I like what it's doing. You can see 35 easily with a little bit of volume. You could fly. My buddy King Streets are in here. What's going on, King Street Trading? My buddies at King Street. We just teamed up. We're having a lot of fun there. Any. Someone's asking me about any. Someone asked about any in the Twitter, on Twitter. So let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Let's do any. ANY. ANY is bringing to the stock exchange a new Bitcoin mining company, Gryphon Mining, that is 100% green, 100% ESG. Not a pump, by the way. I've had the pleasure of talking to their CEO. Fantastic CEO. Awesome, really, really cool, down-to-earth guy. Really, really interesting company that's going on here. So again, and he's got a low float to about 19.7, so about, let's just say 20 mil float. This is a day trader's dream stock right here, because once a little bit of volume kicks in, this thing moves. This thing moves fairly well. Right now it's cooling off. Look, you're cooling off. You're cooling off here, but let me see. What can I do for you here? I see a wedge forming here. So let's see. Can it break out of this wedge with enough volume? It could, but you had a you need volume like this. You need decent volume to break out of this. This is the thing that I'm seeing here. This is what I want to see personally, as someone who wants to get into this. I want to buy this stock, right? This is me. I'm not even joking. I'm serious. I want to buy this stock. I like this stock. I like this company. I like the team behind this company. I need this to come down. I need this to come down back and fill this gap up, this gap down, essentially this gap that we have here. I need to come down and fill this gap and healthy, naturally go up. I want to show you the presser on their agreement. So they're purchasing carbon offset credits, which are good. They announced their merger with Gryphon Mining. They've got a lot of big names in this, investing in it, and big names like celebrities. You got Addison Rae, someone Johnson. I don't know who Johnson is. Celebrities like Paris Hilton, NFL stars Tom Brady, Russell Okung. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't sue me, bro. But they're 100% renewable energy. That's what I really, really like about this company. It's 100% renewable energy. I like this company. There we go. Griffin Johnson, whoever that is. I don't know TikTokers. I'm sorry. Swag Boy Q. I know Schoolboy Q. I don't know Swag Boy Q. This is interesting. I'm watching this one very closely. I'm going to be doing a DD video on my YouTube channel. If you go to ryanstocks.com, my YouTube is linked there, so I'll be doing a DD video there. Maybe we'll get the CEO on very soon to discuss with him directly about the company, about the merger. So definitely subscribe there. And you'll see that for sure. But that's all I'm going to say about any of that. I want it to cool off a little bit. It could break out of here too. You saw the wedge. It could pop and break out and make the all-time high again and keep going up and up and up and up and up, right? The stock has seen a high of 450, but doesn't mean do we go back to 450? I don't know. But naturally, personally, I don't like gap ups the same way I don't like gap downs. I like natural progressive growth over time. That way, the stock and the chart isn't affected, because when gap ups happen, they can initiate offerings. Here, it's not going to happen because they're merging. So it makes no sense for them to do an offering. They don't need it right now. Post, maybe, but right now they don't really need it. What's next? Okay, so we got a few tickers coming in. So folks, if you're going to put a ticker into the chat, do me a solid and smash the like button. Let's go to AMC. We got to talk about it. Ape Nation, where are you? Ape Nation, if you were in the Patreon, if you were on the Twitter, you would have seen I called this out during the weekend. I said, hey, my fellow apes, look at what I see on the chart. I see a nice little wedge. Formed here. I think, again, now this is why I use Webull to draw over TradeView, because it's a little bit more easier for me to do. But look at this. Pop. We broke right out of it, and it did exactly what I've told you. If you watched my YouTube video, on this stock, I've told you this stock rises up to 57.75 and either crosses that line or rejects that line. That is the key level for this stock that has been playing out. I made a whole video teaching you how to do this one. So if you played it, congratulations. I know a lot of my Patreon members played it and had fantastic money made. A lot of people on Twitter played it. Congratulations. But it did very well. Look, this could be the last hurrah for AMC for now. But I don't know. I don't want to say that. Volume was a little less than yesterday, but still green. This is the thing that everyone's expecting this stock to tank and come back down. I don't think that's how this stock will move. I think if it comes down, it'll be a slow descent, and then you'll have many bounces within it, just like here. Slow descent and then bounce. Maybe another slow descent and then another bounce. Slow descent and then another bounce. But I don't know. I think the story of AMC continues for a little bit more. I think we get it into we probably see a slow descent. Naturally, I do think this will eventually come back down to the $15 area, right? Don't kill me, but trust me on this one. And then we see another pop happen. Remember, I discussed this in a YouTube video I made. This stock loves to jump post earnings. 2 or 3 days after earnings, it pops again. Even before Wall Street Bets, before AMC Ape Army, it pops. I like this company a lot. I like it. That's all I'm going to say here about this one is I like it. I like what it did. I'm happy that everyone's like, oh, the technicals don't play out. Here it is. Here's the chart. Boom. Pop right there. What else? What more do you want, right? Textbook play. Enough about AMC. How much time do we have left? We have 8 minutes left on the clock. How are we doing on like counters? Folks, there's 341 of you in here. There's only 33 likes on this video. Come on. Do me a solid. Let's get that like number up. Or at least do me a solid. If you're not going to hit the like button and then follow me on Twitter. Just go to ryanstocks.com. Here, I'll show you what the website is. It's not me doing anything to you. Go to ryanstocks.com. Boom, right? You go to ryanstocks.com. If you want the YouTube, it's linked there. If you want the Patreon, it's here. You want to sign up for Benzinga Pro or Twitter, you just click on here. Boom, it takes you to the Twitter. You hit the follow button. You can't edit my profile. You can hit the follow button. But here, I'll show you proof that I signaled AMC. I signaled good old AMC for you here. Take a look at this. This is over the weekend, June 13th. Is AMC ready to pop again? Right here, look, the wedge pattern. Simple, straightforward, right? Right? For free. Spoon-fed. I'm even giving you free stocks away here. I got AMC for free, by the way, from Webull. Shout out to Webull. But yeah, so just go there. If you want to learn how to trade, the Patreon is a fantastic tool. A lot of people have learned how to do this. Let's get it going on. MTB, to answer your question, I'm on Team Gurgavin. Answer your question there. I'm on Team Gurgavin. That's the team I'm on. But you can DM me on Twitter and we can talk about that there. EVFM. Someone's asking about EVFM with a few questions. What are your thoughts on EVFM? Kenny, just for you, Kenny, if you smash the like button, just for you, we're going to do EVFM. We had EVFM on the watch list. We played it yesterday with the patrons. We did fairly well. Nice, decent pop, 6% pop. Today it surrendered the gains. That's why you always sell on the way up. If you're not going to be a long-term investor, sell on the way up. Straightforward, right? Sell on the way up. Because if an offering happens or something happens, I don't know. You're telling me there's an offering or something happened? No, looks like you got insider ownership being insider buys. 2 insider buys. Very good. You know what? Let me see. More insider buys. Let me go to SEC EVFM. Go to EVFM. Again, folks, do me a solid. If you want to interact with me, follow me on Twitter or join the Patreon. If you want to learn how to trade, trading is easy. Trading can be made easy if taught to you the right way. I can do that. I can help you learn about trading. So I'm not seeing any offerings here. I'm seeing a lot of insider buying and selling. So let's take a look at that first before we go to the chart. EVFM buys, very good. Purchase, look, A means acquired, D means disposed. They acquired it. I think they're paying more than you guys are. Let me see. What's the stock price? 121. Okay, so they're paying a little less than you because they bought earlier than you. They bought on the 11th. Today's the 15th. Look, these folks are buying. Again, it's not a significant amount of shares, but it's still a sign of confidence, in my opinion, that they're putting their money up, right? This is like $8,000 right here. Nobody's selling. They're just buying 18,000 shares from the CCO. CCO's got their neck on the board. CEO buys 50,000 shares. Is this a good sign? I don't know why. I don't know. I know the product is, I don't know. I can't use the product to tell you how the product works, but chart's cooling off. That chart's cooling off. We're going to probably come down, touch a 21 MA, then begin a bounce again. This is an interesting one, man. Offerings hurt this one. Bad news hurt this one. But this is how bio plays are. They take patience. If you truly believe in it over time, it pays off, and you could do what you got to do. That's just my 2 cents on this one. And yeah, if you have any questions, again, we're running out of time. We only have 4 minutes. Hit me up follow my Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Just tweet me. Don't DM me there. Tweet me, and I'll try to answer the question for you in a timely manner as possible. And if you want true help on learning how to trade, sign up for the Patreon. It's quite affordable, quite simple, quite easy, quite affordable to sign up. And you can talk about it. My team Roblox or DraftKings. I'm team DraftKings all the way, Noah. No, I'm team DraftKings I bought in the $40 range was when I started my position for DraftKings. I like DraftKings a lot. I think Hindi is going to get squeezed heavy by this, and I think they're playing both sides of the trade, or else they wouldn't have put out the short report. But we'll see. What do I think about NEO? Mintai. I hope you smash the like button, Mintai, because I'm about to go into the NEO chart for you. We're 3 minutes left. NEO chart. Here we go. Look at these. We got the support levels set up for NEO. We've done this chart so many times. I like it. It's cooling off. It's in a cool off descent. I want to see if it holds this level here on 42. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, for the $42 area is where I want to watch it. Long term, I'm very bullish on this stock. Very, very bullish on this company. Excuse me. You can't believe it bullish on it. You have to be bullish on the company before you're bullish on the stock. I'm very bullish on this company long term. That's just me personally. I like this company a lot. I like what they're doing. I like where they're headed. I like their management team. I like that they're backed by the Chinese government because, well, if you want to thrive in that country, you have to have the backing of the government, and they have the backing of the government, right? So that's a good sign. We got a few minutes left. We're at 76 likes. Can we get to 100? If not, that's okay. I'd appreciate you all for watching and coming here. It really means a lot. We started off with very few viewers in the beginning, and now we've grown exponentially towards the tail end. Sundial, what do I think? I think Sundial needs to do a reverse split. That's what I think Sundial needs to do. They need to do a reverse split, and you might be like, Ryan, what the hell? What is wrong with you? That's going to hurt us. No, it'll help you in the long run. Trust me. I've seen so many companies do a reverse split, and then over time they heal and they get better. Look at Novin. Look at Novin for a second. I'm not in this, so don't think I'm pumping it. Novin did a reverse split, and look at where they are. They're back up. They're doing good. Do a reverse split. It'll help you. It'll reduce your float. The stock has done so many offerings. The float is ridiculously high. Look at this, 1.86 billion float. What is this, an OTC stock? Do a 10-to-1. Reduce that. Reduce that float. Bring the float down. Let the stock build its way healthily back up. Not have to be worried about a NASDAQ delisting. And I think Sundial will do great. I think Sundial's good long term. They've survived the chaos of COVID. And do that. Again, folks, one more time, one last plug from me, Uncle Ryan. Follow me on YouTube. I got a video coming out about the Fed Talk tonight. So after this, I'm going to go record that video about the Fed Talk. Go and subscribe to my channel. You'll understand what's going on tomorrow. I'll prepare you for the Fed Talk for tomorrow. Patreon is there if you want to sign up and learn about the patrons. There's 3 different tiers. You can sign up quite affordable, quite cheap, very limited spots. So that way I can directly work with you. And my Twitter, you can sign up there. And bada bing, bada boom. Someone asked me, how did I start at Benzinga? I was on an interview. I got came on an interview. I was invited to the Power Hour show, and Jason Raznick, the CEO, said, "Hey, do you want to come and do a show with us?" And I said, "Of course, I'd love to." And then we took a little bit of time. We planned it out with producer AB, worked with Money Mitch, and we got the ball rolling on a show together. And yeah, that's the story ever since. And we've been having fun, and I've been having the pleasure of talking with you all. So I believe we are out of time. We've got a few seconds left. I think Money Mitch comes on next, if I'm not mistaken. Pulling up the lineup now. I think Money Mitch is
usually, but today we have a little different schedule. We have Trading Nomadic coming up next.
Perfect.
So he's going to be doing some more TA, breaking down some charts. He's going to be looking at Dogecoin, AMC, Bitcoin. So that should be exciting. Stick around for that. And yeah, Ryan, I mean, that was I was listening in while I was in a meeting. Don't tell Spencer, but it was a good show.
All right, man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm always glad to hear that. We started off a little light on the viewership. We gained towards the end. That's always fun. I always have a lot of fun with the team. Folks, if you want to catch me on here again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch me on Twitter, just go to ryanstocks.com. It's linked there. And producer AB, shout out to you for this. And I think we're good to go.
Beautiful. We'll see you all on Thursday.
Bye-bye.